do what I did.
So for the people that are here, I just want to let you know that I just hit record on the interview. So sorry if you missed the first part of it, but if you can though, repeat the last part that you said, because I think that is very important for people to really understand. When your back is against the wall, literally, you had to walk out of your job. It wasn't okay, I'm going to give it a month or 6 months or 2 weeks, or you literally had to leave your job. Was it in the middle of a shift, the end of a shift? What exactly was that?
And then in the middle of the shift.
In the middle of the shift.
Yeah, it was just, it's your son's school again, and it was the attitude, and it was like, I felt like they were putting me in a situation where it's like, you need to pick or choose. Is it us or him? Like, that's how I felt, and I'm like, hey, I'm picking my kid. I'm sorry, but I have to do what I have to do. And they made me feel like they were giving me an ultimatum. So I gave them my answer. And, of course I'm driving home. I'm like, oh my God, what did I just do? Oh my God. But I'm like, but I felt that's what I had to do. And I was, I was really nervous and like, oh my goodness, but I knew that's what I had to do. I had to do it. And so that's what kind of pushed me into like, okay, I got to go hard. I brought him to the doctors. I got him on his nebulizer, and I came home and I was like, I got to write me out a plan and figure out how I'm going to make this work.
Right. So touch a little bit just for the people in the back, like in the way back, about the whole determination of that balance of, I want to start a business, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I'm not really too concerned about it because I still have a job, or I have a husband at home, and I have a whole husband at home, so I have no shame around saying it. That is a crutch for a lot of people who say they want entrepreneurship, but they don't really go after it. I went after it as if I didn't have a husband, and I've said it several times on live video that I worked my business as if his income didn't matter, because I was that hungry and determined and serious, even when it was just the startup. So just talk a little bit more about the determination that you have to have when it comes to really doing this entrepreneurship thing. We're not talking about an extra stream of income on the side, which could be valid in this case, but we're talking about like, you are really wanting to do this business because you want to leave your job, or because you're having to choose between your children and your job, or just your sanity in general. Because some people don't have kids, they don't have any of that. They're a single person, but they have a job, but they want to do entrepreneurship and they're not serious because they have a job to fall back on. So talk a little bit about what it really takes in the realm of determination to leave your job, or to build a business that will allow you to leave your job.
It all boils down to your true reason why and your purpose. We all have one, and I think a lot of times we don't always really tap into that, or we're afraid to pursue that. Right. But I always feel God gave us a vision. He gave all of us a purpose. We all have it. Some of us choose to ignore it. And it's out of fear a lot of the time. And that's what that's what it really is. It boils down to fear. You're afraid of failing. You're afraid of what people are going to say. You're afraid of all these different things. So you settle. You stay in your comfort zone. You stay at your job. You stay, your husband's handling everything. So it's okay. But at some point, if you really want to pursue entrepreneurship full time, you have to follow your purpose. You have to. That's what we're all here for, regardless. Yeah, you can work your job and do all of that, but that passion has to be there. That purpose has to be there in your why. And for me, it was like, I've always wanted to be a work at home mom. And a lot of people don't know, I've been married for 20 years, but I've been a single married mom, in circumstances out of my control, And so I've had to do what I had to do over the years. And I didn't have the financial support of my husband. So a lot of times it was always on me. So I had to make that decision. It was either I'm going to have to go back on welfare, because I was on welfare at one point. I'm going to have to go back on welfare and get food stamps and do all of this, or I'm going to have to just make it happen. And I don't like the government all in my business and checking in on me and, how much did you make this month? I didn't want to go through that anymore. So it was like, I just had to sit down and do what I had to do. And I've always been the type of person, like you said, Shayla, it's like, I don't care if, my husband's here and he's helping or not. I'm still got to do what I have to do, and that's just the determination. You have to have that determination. Another thing that really hit me is one time, I have at the time, I had 3 older kids. And I had my 2 younger boys, they were about 2 and 3 at the time. This was a little more later when I started getting online. And I couldn't make it to one of my daughter's, one of her field trips. And she was so upset with me about that, because she knows I used to go to my boys' field trips all the time. And I was at that job, and that, I couldn't get time off, and I didn't have seniority. So I couldn't get, anybody to cover my shift, and I couldn't go. And she will literally be 21 at the end of this month, and she still brings that up. So those things really affect our kids. It really affects our kids, and she was really hurt about that. And like I said, she still talks about it to this day. So that was really my drive. That was my motivation, my kids. I want to be home with them, but I still need to be able to provide. So like I said, there was no fallback plan. And it's like, even when you have a fallback plan, and even now in today's time, you can't depend on a job anymore. You really cannot depend. A lot of people think they're so secure in their job. Artificial intelligence is taking over, whether you want to believe it or not. Technology is taking over, whether you want to believe it or not. Look around, there's robots at Walmart. You go to fast food restaurants, there's kiosks everywhere taking orders. There's no more jobs. Okay, let's be realistic. I mean, you can literally have Walmart come to your house and bring your food to you. Now they're talking about Walmart can stock your refrigerator. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to really and be realistic about what's happening, what changes are taking place here. And even if it's like you just want to make extra income, you still need to take it serious and do something, because, we cannot depend on these jobs out here anymore. And you really have to focus in what keeps you going is your reason why, is that determination. Even if you, like Shayla said, if you don't have kids, maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to retire and have more than just, a 401k or, your Social Security to depend on. You have to build that now, and you have to take it serious, because times are changing, and we have to continue be evolving and growing along with these changes. So it's just important.
And that's a great segue into, you talked about the AI technology, which I mentioned here as a whole for the Work at Home franchise community. That's what it's really built to support people in. And I've just been thinking about the focus of the community overall, because I think I made it a little broad, and I get a lot of people asking me just to break down the definition, what it exactly is. And so I really have the understanding now that basically we help you find remote, legit jobs that you can do from home, but we also supply you with educational videos, audios, trainings that will help you to create skill sets that allow you to make money from the comfort of your home, or just things you can do from your smartphone through apps to make additional income. Because regardless of it's McDonald's or Walmart, that AI technology is moving in on quickly, and it's moving in on other things. We see on the news, they got robots now that they're training and building for different things. And you may say, well, that doesn't affect me, or I'm already a stay-at-home mom, so it doesn't really affect me if AI technology takes over or not, or I'm about to retire, so it doesn't really matter. But whatever you do in this world, on this green earth, is going to have some effect on you when it comes to technology, whether it's you losing a job or not being able to get a job. If that doesn't directly affect you because your circumstances don't require you to go looking for a job for the rest of your life for whatever reason, retirement or whatever the case may be, if you want to do anything, it's going to involve technology, the digital market. So why not get yourself acquainted and set up that you can benefit from this thing that is literally taking over, and put yourself in a position. If you want to soon go to the bank or get into stock trading or invest in anything, technology is going to be a part of that. So it's really not just about AI technology, and that's huge. That's a big thing because I preach it all the time. But it really comes down to the world is evolving, and unless you plan to just die tomorrow, you need to step up and realize what's around you, right? You can't just keep, I don't, because I have plenty of people that I know, I will leave them nameless. I don't know how to use a computer, or I'm not interested in using a computer, or I don't care about it. You have to. You don't have a choice. Like, your phone is a computer. It's a mini computer now. It's not even just a phone anymore. It's so advanced. And so, it's just a great idea to set yourself up to not depend on when you're going to get the pink slip, but knowing I want to be out before they have a chance to give me the pink slip, for those of us who are working. And if you do say, hey, I just want to make some money on the side, but I want to keep my day job, we're not saying quit your job to quit your job, but for those of you who hate your job, who are unsettled and have no peace when it's time to go to work, you're crying, or darn you're crying going or coming home, you have an available escape, but you have to treat it like you really want it. You have to treat it like my why, as Tamyka said, is something bigger than just, oh, it would be nice to have some extra money, but I'm getting by on my $2,500 a month, so it's cool. I'll just keep doing. I'm so close to retirement. It's cool. I'll just, we make excuses that we think are valid because they sound good to us. But the reality is there's something bigger. And I just want to say this piece, and I'll go back to interviewing. But I always want to remind people that you having a business is biblically sound. But not only that, you having a business is not about you. Once you get yourself squared away and get your finances and your family and the things that you need in your everyday life, now it's about a next level. It's about you doing what you do, making the money that you make. And I want to break this down as finite as possible so it can be really clear. When I say making the money that you make, I mean the money that you're able to make in entrepreneurship. You literally can write your own paycheck. You choose how much money you make. You choose your price points. You choose your client base. You choose how often you offer something. And because you can offer digital products of every magnitude, from paper to video to audio, you can sell that in infinite amounts, right? Because people can always download it. They can always join a membership. They can always get your coaching program or whatever it is. And you don't even have to be involved. And because of that, I literally was just reading a blog, Neil Patel's blog, and he was talking about some highlights on different people and the money they made. And he talks about a man that is making, in the first year of his business, $1 million in his membership. $1 million in his membership. But check this out. The membership's only $64.99. $64.99 a month. So how many members do you think he has to make $64.99? He has a ton of members, but he has those members and was able to get those members because he's doing something that is based digitally inside of a membership, and it's something that is not going to be affected by AI technology, which is the stock market, right? The stock market is always going to be bouncing up and down. It's forever going to be a thing. And because he has put together an offer around something that is recession proof, as we call it, and it's based on a digital platform, he's forever going to make that money. So the first year he made $1 million, and then he relaunched or upgraded or something, and he was able to do another $700,000 in 1 month on top of the $1 million he already made. And those are astronomical numbers. I get that, but it's just the matter of what he honed in on, the digital platform, being able to do something for himself. And he was at a job that he did not like, and he was able to quit his job because of that. So I just wanted to, you make the money for yourself, get yourself together. You got to take care of yourself first, get your family dynamic in order. But then after that, it's really the extra money that you make is about what you can do in this world. Like, we have water shortages, we have all kind of craziness happening in the world. Now you're able to donate and you're able to give, you're able to travel and see what's happening outside of the US. You think we got it bad here. It's pretty bad in certain places, but until you go to a third world country, you really don't understand the magnitude of what's going on. And if you as an entrepreneur can write your own paycheck and create the amount of income you want, you can share that into the world and do something bigger and better for other people. So it's not just about you making an extra income to make it, because that's what you think now, because you like, well, I need the money. I need it. I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. And that's fine. But once you get it and you start going, it's your responsibility to go out and do something bigger for somebody, whether it's your own backyard community or somewhere across the world. I just want to put that piece out there. Let's see. Let's talk about the type of businesses you have, and then also talk about your calendar. And I know you know what I'm talking about. I got a glimpse of Miss Tamyka's calendar one day, a couple years ago, actually, and I was so impressed. And so I wish I would have told you to get a screenshot just to show the people, a blurred screenshot of just how organized you are, because there is a balancing act that happens. And we're not saying that it's all roses and rose petals, because she is doing this and doing it well, but she does do this as a mother of 7, multiple businesses. And so there has to be some type of, balance. There has to be some type of organization. So talk to the people about the different businesses that you have, what that consists of, what your day looks like, if you're doing them all in one day or separate, and then how you organize your time to get it all done.
Well, I have 3 businesses, and I also do various affiliate programs. Mm-hmm. So my day consists of, my calendar, first of all, is organized based on my kids' schedule. And Shayla started homeschooling this year as well. So that was another thing that came on. So I have 2 that I'm homeschooling, and a couple of them at regular school. And so that was a little transition in itself. But like Shayla said, my calendar has to be organized. Everything revolves around my family schedule first, and then comes the work. And so, my mornings start off with me having quiet time, doing my meditation, my reading, just, some personal development, things like that. Get the kids up, get them situated. And then most days, I try to get my homeschooling in, before the afternoon. Doesn't always work out like that, but that's the freedom we have there. So that's a good thing. And then with my service-based business, it's kind of, it fluctuates. So the work varies, the days vary. I can kind of, I try to put that in as much as possible, like all in 1 week or something like that, if it's possible. So I can kind of bang that all out. Mm-hmm. And then with my 2 network marketing companies, I try to do 3 hours each, during the day. One of them I work very late night, when my kids are kind of wind down. So that one's more, I do more retail. And so I'm not really building a team there. So that is more automated. So that's kind of just the marketing, putting in emails, loading up, social media posts for Twitter or whatever, things like that. So, and I do that. And with my main network marketing business, I work that more during the day. I'm doing phone calls, following up with people, also doing marketing. I do a lot of email marketing. That's big for me. And I work a lot with systems. That's my thing, because I need to have, with everything that's going on, I need automated systems in place, right, so that I can have more of my time to do the things that I need to do. So that's very important. And I know that's a difficult thing for a lot of people, but you really have to have structure, even though, you're working for yourself. And in the beginning, I was just kind of all over the place. I was just like, oh, here's it. But then it was like, it was driving me crazy, because I would forget to do things. I forget to call this person back. I'm like, oh, I was supposed to do this. And it was just all over the place. So I really had to take that time to, I set up a calendar in Google. Google's my best friend at my Google Calendar, and everything's color coded. So I know every day this is what I have to do. This is this business. So, and that's how I have to do it. And it's like, it took me a while, but you have to be disciplined. And I always tell people that I work with, like, you have to treat your business the same way you treat your job. You will show up for your boss. You better show up for yourself. The same hours. If you're going to give your boss 8 hours, come home and give yourself 4. Right. You're going to be tired. Yes, but that's the sacrifice you have to make for the long-term gain. And that's how I always look at it, and I spend my evenings with my kids, but I'm like, when they're sleeping, I'm a night owl. So I'm up late most nights. And so that's when I'm kind of, doing some things that I know I can just, okay, let me schedule this and, have things automated. I do that at nighttime,
Right. So 3 businesses, you guys. Mm-hmm. Count them, 3 businesses, and they're not all I'm just online typing up stuff, or I'm just sitting even like, and not that that's a bad thing, or that's not time consuming, but when it's just you, yourself, and the computer, it's one thing. But when your business consists of reaching out, contacting, talking to customers, clients, that takes more of your time, and it takes more organization, because now you have to, or Tamyka says she's a night owl, so it's highly unlikely, it's not impossible, because I do know a coach that does it, but it's highly unlikely that you're going to be talking to your prospects at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. That usually is happening in the daytime. And as she said, she's homeschooling 2 of her children. So now she's got to split her time between children, and then they're younger, so she's got to get them quiet and all of that. So you have the professional quiet background. So it is a balancing act. But if she is able to do it, and I've said this before, about Miss Tamyka, if she's able to do it, I don't want to hear no excuses from nobody. Like, I just don't. Like, she is doing this on top of homeschooling 2 younger children. My children are older, and we've just recently transitioned from homeschool to unschooling, whole nother topic, but they're older, so they can hear me right now talking. They know not to even touch that door, because they know I'm in here doing something that has to do with my business. But they're older. But having smaller children, if that is your situation, and you're like, there's no way I could do it, she's homeschooling 2 of them. So that means they are with her 24/7. 24/7. If you didn't,
and just include them. Like, that's another thing. Include them and tell them, like, let them know, like, okay, like my kid, they're out in the living room right now, but you don't hear them, because they know mommy's right now. She's doing, she's on the computer, she's working. Yes, I'm on camera, so you have to stay in there, be quiet. They know, they know what it is. So, it's been ingrained in them for so long. So I do include them in things, and they know if I come in my room, it's because mommy's on a call. So you have to be quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't want the moms or dads or whomever, if you're home with your children, to think like, if my children were young and they ran in here right now, even if they're older and they run in here right now and say whatever, it's not the end of the world. Like, I work from home. I'm not working for a company. If you're working for a corporate company or remotely for a company, it may be different, but I own my business. So even if I am on a client call and something happens and your kids happen to stroll in or come in and ask a question, it's not the end of the world. But we're just saying, you know, there is a balancing act to doing what you do with the kids. And if you have really small children that don't understand, sit down and be quiet while I'm doing business, and they may be, you know, 1 or 2 years old and they're toddling around or whatever, they're going to cry, they're going to make noise, they're going to be looking for you if you close the door. That stuff happens. And if you have to work during a 2-hour nap, or do kids still take 2-hour naps? Because mine sure did. Like, it's only been an hour and a half, go back to sleep. But, you know, during nap time, you may have to do that. You may have to work some late nights, get up early in the morning. There is a way. I'm just trying to eliminate all excuses, because it can work for anybody. I know people who are doing this with younger children, that only get naps. I know somebody who has just had a brand new baby, and she has, I think the daughter is 2 or 3. And half the time when she's on live stream, they're both battling for the most attention and crying and whining in the background. You do what you got to do, and you figure out, how can I do this? Maybe I need to pre-record some video at night while they're sleeping and upload that if I can't go live, or if something happens and I can't go live. Like, you just figure it out. You do what you need to do to get it done. There's no excuse, if this lifestyle is really what you want, the entrepreneurial lifestyle. So talk to me now, because I know this is something that a lot of people are going to be wondering, and I'm just looking at my questions to make sure I didn't skip anything. What, because you have 3 businesses, so the service-based business and then 2 network marketing companies you're involved in. Talk to us about, what does a good month look like? And you don't have to give specifics to your income if you don't want to, but what does it look like to say, okay, I'm making enough? Or maybe from the transition when you actually started, you left the job and started working from home, and you were like, okay, I'm not making much money in my business right now. But when did you get to a point and you were like, okay, this is comfortable, at least we're not like, okay, what, we need more money before the month is over? Like, when did you get to that point in business? Because some people think, oh, I'm gonna open a business today, I'm gonna do 1 live stream and 1 Facebook post and maybe a email newsletter, and then if they don't make money in 7 days, they quit. Like, they're done. What
That's
is
a lot. That's a lot of people these days. It's like, if they, 30 days, well, it didn't work for me, so this is not for me. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. But when I first got started, like really seriously online, it was in 2009. And I had left the direct sales company that was with Mary Kay, because I didn't want to do home parties anymore. I had 5 kids. When I first got started, I had 3, so things had changed in my life, and it was becoming too much. So what I actually did, and what a lot of people don't know, is that I had moved to Florida in 2009, and that's when I started building my online presence. The first blog I had started is when I was with Mary Kay, and corporate actually contacted me because I had violated their terms of service and I was using their logo. I didn't know any of this. I was new online. So I was like, I'm going to bring my Mary Kay business online. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to just put up everything that I know. And I'm going to talk about, skincare and this and that and the other. And, I wanted to do consultations virtually. Right. And so I was like, if I can just put enough information, content out there and explain about the skincare and stuff, and then I would have people schedule a time to talk to me. That worked for a while. And then I would make recommendations and sell the product. So I'm like, okay, that was working. That was great, until corporate contacted me, and it just terrified me. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know that, like, I just violated all their rules. They were like, you need to take your website down. And I was like, okay, well, can I just change this? I mean, the whole thing was just covered with their pictures and their products and all that. So I had to shut that down. So that really made me like, okay, now what am I going to do? And that's when I had created my first brand, which was the CEO Mama. And that's when I was like, okay, now I'm going to take on this new journey. And I'm going to just blog about my experience, everything that I'm doing from start to scratch, because I want to show other moms how they can do this too. So that was my main focus. And I knew I wasn't even thinking about money at that time. Crazy. But, my focus was I had to build an audience. I just knew, I was like, I had to have people. Like, what's the point? I can't sell anything if there's nobody who knows about me. So I committed to blogging 3 times a week. And I know people are like, oh my God, that is so much. But I knew that's what I had to do. I wasn't about to do videos. So I had to, I had to put content out there. And so that was my commitment. And I did that every single day for 6 months straight, 3 blogs a week. And I was promoting, I wasn't even on Facebook then. I wasn't on Facebook then because that's when it was still for college students. So I was on MySpace.
Wow.
And I had found a group of like some networking groups of moms. And then Ning was kind of big back then. And so I was joining Ning
for a second.
And I was literally like, to introduce myself. My name is Tamyka Washington.
We missed a little bit of what you said after you said you joined Ning, or Ning was the big thing then, because it kind of froze up.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I had joined a whole bunch of mom groups, for stay-at-home moms or moms who want to work at home. And I began networking in those groups. And like I said, I was like, if I was a salesperson out in the street, knocking on the doors, I was knocking down your inbox. I was knocking down your direct messages. I was literally in there like, hi, introducing myself. That's how I was networking back then.
Right.
So I'm introducing myself. Hi, my name is Tamyka Washington. I just started this blog. I'm really just trying to help other moms who want to work at home. I share a lot of tips about this, that, and da-da-da. And that's what I did. And I would invite people to my blog. And I did this every single day. And this is how I began to build my audience. Now, what's crazy is I didn't even have an email list at that time. I didn't even know what an email list was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
In there.
And so I'm like doing all of this stuff, and I'm like, but people are commenting. I'm getting a lot of comments. Email was a little bit more bigger back then. So I'm getting a lot of emails, and I'm connecting with women, and I'm talking with women, and doing all of that. And then I started finding other women that were actually, are you probably familiar with LaShonda Henry?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you, yes, she changed my life. Okay. I started following her, and she was doing everything that I wanted to do. And I was like, oh my God, there's another mom out here doing exactly what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I'm like, I started following her. I started connecting with her. And then she had this affiliate program. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's this? So she's selling all these products that are teaching women exactly the things that I wanted to learn, the things that I wanted to show other women how to do. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can promote her products and I can make money? I was like, oh my God, no way. So I'm like, now I'm starting to get into how I can monetize my blog. So now I'm writing content, and I'm including the affiliate links to a lot of her things. And it aligned with what I was doing. Mm-hmm. So the sales were coming in because I was already attracting that audience, and they're seeing it. It's like, okay, oh, how do you start a blog? Here's an article about it. Now here's a link to go purchase this program on how to start a blog. So that's how I first started making money. And then after that, I'm getting people, well, can you teach me how to make a blog? Like, can you show me how? How much do you charge for a consultation? I'm like, I don't know. So everything just started coming out of nowhere. And so it really forced me to be like, okay, I need to figure this out. How am I going to get, when people come to me, they can't just keep leaving comments in the comment section. So I'm like, I have to have, so that led me on my search to find an email service, So I found an email service. I'm like, okay, so I set up this little thing on the side, the little sidebar thing, so people can opt into my list and all this stuff. But doing all of this is what really forced me to start taking more control over my business and learning the technical stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of times this is what holds people back because they're not willing to learn those things. And it's like, you have to take it serious. You have to at least try to learn it because this is a part of your business and you can't always depend on other people. And when I didn't have a budget.
I think we froze again.
I didn't have a budget that was for my domain. And back then we didn't have like a WordPress where it was so simple, just, pick your template and throw up a blog. It was HTML. I had to learn coding. I had to learn that, and so it was a lot tougher than it is now. And so it took me many nights, long nights, tears, crying. I'm like, I made my whole blog disappear at times. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? It was a lot. And I could have gave up, but I was like, no, I have to make this work. And so those things, those skills that I learned, and then I would follow people. Okay, this person does email marketing. Let me jump on their list and see what they do. Let me see what kind of emails they're sending out. Okay, this is what they're doing. Oh, okay, I get an email every couple of days. I'm not just reading their email for the content. I'm watching and model. I decided to model myself after what they were doing. It's working for them. Whatever's attracting me, I want to be able to do that same thing. Oh, this made me open this email because of what the subject line said. Okay. And so those are the kind of things that I would pay attention to. And I knew I had to apply these things in my business. I taught myself everything. I taught myself marketing. I didn't know anything. I was brand new to all of this, just like most of you are, but the skills, and that's what's important. You have to learn these skills. You cannot just depend on, other people always being there to help you, or, you might come into a situation where you can't afford it. So things are not cheap,
Right.
And I'd rather have people put their money into advertising than hiring somebody to do work for them. When you can learn how to do that yourself, and then you really think about that's a skill that you have because of what I learned 10 years ago. I'm profiting from that now over and over and over again. I'm using these skills that I learned myself, taught myself, to make money now. So it's like you really have to embody the whole entrepreneurship journey. It's not just about I'm here trying to make some money. That comes along with finding solutions. You're a solution provider for yourself and for others. So no matter what comes at you, you have to be able to make things happen out of nothing sometimes, and so like I tell people all the time, I don't do excuses. You can't tell me anything that I haven't been through and then say, well, I can't. Yes, you can. You don't want to. Let's keep it real. That's the real truth. You're scared to, or maybe you don't want to invest the time. I invested a lot of time in the beginning. A lot of time. I mean, I've gone, and I know Shayla, you can relate, 2 days straight. Sometimes I'm not sleeping because I'm learning some stuff. I'm learning how to do this. I'm learning how to structure my blog to get views and things like that, because that's what I was using as my main avenue to get people to come to me. So whatever you choose as your thing, your method, you need to perfect that thing. You have to become a master at it, and you have to do everything that is required of you, and not being, having that mentality, well, I can have somebody else do this, or I can have somebody else do it. If you hire a person like me, sometimes I can't do your project when you want it done. Sometimes I can't log into your website and fix, the malware that's in there. So you know how to do that? You have to be able to at least know a little something to try and figure things out on your own. And so that's a big thing that I see a lot with, new entrepreneurs. We're so focused on making money, and I understand we need to make the money. I get that. But, you need to have that foundation built. You need to have that structure in place, and you have to have a process for yourself of how you're going to do what you want to do. And just kind of veer off a topic a little bit. Like when I first started, I knew I did not want, when I went back into network marketing, I knew I did not want to have to leave my house, so it was like I had to find a company that I can offer a service or a product that I could, I can do it through the internet. I didn't have to leave my house, that it was automated. So people would come to me first for the information. I'm not just cold calling people or just spamming people all over. Hey, check out my stuff. I want people to come to me who know, they're coming to me because they want what I have, or they want more information. So now I can hop on the phone with you. I'm not wasting my time. I can hop on the phone with you and answer your questions and talk to you and close a sale. So it's like you have to know that process for whatever it is that you're doing. How am I going to get the people? How am I going to engage the people? How am I going to sell to the people? That's pretty much my thing. Who these people are, how I'm going to get them to come to me, how I'm going to be able to, close that sale and keep it moving, so it's really managing your time and just having a process and a system in place for whatever it is you're doing. Any kind of business that you have to have that process, and you have to have systems.
Right. So a lot was said, and I hope you guys caught it, but I'm gonna just summarize this last little piece, because if you haven't written it down, if you're not taking notes, you should be. Tamyka said there's a 3-step process basically, and it's where are the people, how are you going to find them, where are your people who want what you have, how are you going to engage with the people, this is marketing, how are you going to present something to them that interests them, engagement, conversation, sociability, whatever, that piece that makes them say, I like what I'm hearing, I like what I'm seeing, I want to know more. And then how are you going to close the people? How are you going to make the sale happen? You need to figure those 3 steps out if you want to be in business and stay in business. So you got to find the people, or create something that brings the people to you. That could be a lead magnet or et cetera, et cetera. And then once the people get there, how do you engage them? How do you keep them interested? Because please understand, you're not the only game in town. Like, it's not even about it being a bad thing, but there's so much happening. Remember, attention span, 7 seconds, less than a goldfish. It's a lot going on inside your inbox, on social media. So how do you keep your people engaged, right? There's millions of groups they can join. Well, I don't know if there's millions, but there's a lot, thousands of groups they can join on Facebook. What are you going to do to keep them engaged? And then how do you close the sale? How do you get them to actually exchange money for service, or money for product, or money for offer if you're doing affiliate marketing? How do you get them to actually take their credit card out and purchase what you have? You need to line those 3 things up. And if you can get those 3 things in place, you have the outline for a business. Tell us 3 things that you would recommend if you're just coming out today and you're saying, I want to start a business online. I want to be able to make money online in whatever capacity. It could be a service or product, or affiliate marketing, but whatever it is, what are 3 things that they definitely have to have in place to be successful? We talked about like a 3-tier factor of what you need to get together. Like, you need to get a pen and paper and write down, where will I find these people? Where are my people at? How will I bring the people to me? Then we talk about how will we engage and keep the people, like marketing to them, giving them content. And then we talked about closing them. But what are like 3 tools or 3 must-have things that are non-negotiable for somebody who wants to get started doing business online, even if they've never made $1 online before?
Nowadays, I feel it's much easier nowadays. You need a lead page.
Lead page.
You need an email service, and some way to get paid. Those are the 3
Email
things. And
service,
I don't
some way to
recommend
get
PayPal
paid.
anymore, but a Stripe account or Square, something like that, where it's just you have better control of your money, but you need those 3 things in place, because now it's just more towards, you're engaging with people on social media, and you want to bring those people to your space online, which is
Right.
your lead page or your website. But it's easy to just have a lead page now. So you engage them and you drive them over to your stuff. You want to get them
Right.
off of social media. And your lead page is, like Shayla mentioned, it's your freebie offer, or maybe it's to have a complimentary call with you, whatever the case may be. It's something that is going to narrow down that niche. So it's like, okay, now you're getting more targeted people who are actually signing up to this list for you. So, it's not like you're wasting time with random people. It's very targeted. And then that way they go on your list, they have that next step, and now they're on your list. So you can continue to build that relationship with them, sending them regular emails, sending them, to sales pages, or giving them more information about the product, or whatever information they requested from you when they signed up. And, then I have like a sales page at the end. So it's like, now after they get the email, they get some information. I usually have a thank you page with more information. Then I also direct them, go check your email, because I have some information in there. Right. And, that'll direct them to either contact me, or, go to my sales page and buy what they were looking for, and I keep it simple. It doesn't have to be difficult. And even a lot of times people are not going to buy the first time, but they're on your list. So now you get to continue to build that relationship with them and provide them value and content and things that's going to hopefully further the, connection, and encourage them to go make that purchase.
Right.
But so those are 3 months nowadays.
Landing page or lead page. So some of you may know it as a landing page, but a lead page where somebody who's interested in what you have, that's a lead. And this is business marketing talk, sales talk. So their lead, they would go onto a page, and that just looks like, hey, grab my 3 steps to having clearer, clearer, healthier skin, if you're doing a skincare thing. And then they would put their name or email address, or both, into a little form. And when they do that, it's going to automatically add them to the second thing, which is your email autoresponder. And then they'll get their free thing. And now, like Tamyka said, you'll have them on your email list where you can continue to engage with them and build relationship, and you can make offers and such and such and such, and it goes on, right? And then you need a way for you to get paid. You need a way to get paid. And we talk about Stripe and Square. If you're just getting started, PayPal is the easiest to sign up for. we don't use PayPal, but I would not pick PayPal as a long-term solution. But if you really just need to get started and make some money for the first time and you don't have anything, set up your PayPal account. It's the quickest, easiest thing you can do. There's banks out there now that you can do online banking. Chime is one of them. Get a Stripe account. You can set that up. There's Square app. You can set that up and you can send people invoices. But you want to have some type of automated process for people to pay you, so they don't have to chase you down or you don't have to chase them down for your money. You want to have it set up. There's platforms like Gumroad and PayHip, and eJunkie that allow you, gosh, I'm old, eJunkie, wow.
I know, right?
That allow you to put your thing on there that you want to sell, say it's an audio or video or a PDF that you created or your ebook. You can put that on there, upload it to that platform, PayHip, Gumroad, or eJunkie, and then people can go there from your link that you share, maybe in your email, and they can download and pay you for your thing, and that money will go right into your business bank account or into your PayPal account or whatever you have set up to that. And it really is that simple.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. If you can get those 3 things in place now, find a landing page service, ClickFunnels. They're a little more on the pricey side if you're new to this, but there's Lead Pages. There's others out there. If you do what I did back in the day, I kind of rigged Aweber and made it into a landing page. It really wasn't, but it worked. And I was able to use my Aweber, which is also my email autoresponder, as a landing page for a sign-up form to get people in, and they automatically would get the free thing that they were signing up for. So, and that's free for the first 30 days, and then it's only $19 a month after that. So it doesn't have to cost a lot of money to get started, and which is another excuse a lot of people say. But at some point, you're going to have to invest money in your business, period. If you want it to grow, you want people to pay you, but you don't want to pay, it don't work like that. It's not a job. It is a full-blown business, and you have to be willing to treat it as such. Let's see if anything I missed here as we wrap up. And I did say I was going to share the number one thing that I learned from Miss Tamyka. Gosh, way back when we met online. I think it was 2009. And we have worked together. And when I say work together, I mean literally, like, we have made good money together in the past years in my businesses, because I was making good money and I had so much happening. I needed somebody to be able to do my tech for me, because I am still not the best at tech, but I've done what Ms. Tamyka talked to you guys about, and I went and I had to learn it. Even if I don't know all of it, I know enough to where if I need to right now build out a landing page, my email autoresponder, and get my pay system up, I could do that. And I could do it for some other people. And people will pay you to do things for them that they don't know. I don't want to do it for other people because that's not my thing. I don't want to do tech for people, but I could, right? If I have a beginner entrepreneur coming to me and say, Shell, I really want to get started online, but I just don't know where to start. And I tell them where to start. You need these 3 things. They're like, well, if you could just put it together for me, I would pay you for it. Okay, it's going to cost you, but yeah, okay, great. I could do that for them, or I could recommend them to Tamyka, or if she has time to do it, or to whoever, but just that's a skill set, right? Because I took the time to learn it, and it's just the basics, but I took the time to learn it. And so now that will always be something that I can teach somebody. And if you know more than somebody else knows, then you can always make money. I will never be broke, ever, because I know how to make money in marketing, but I have skill sets that allow me to do digital marketing online. And I will never, ever not be able to make money, because nobody can ever take your intellectual property away like they can take away a job, or even if you're an independent contractor for someone, they can stop that contract. So as long as you have something for yourself that you can offer people, you will always be able to make money. And it doesn't have to be online. You can be a hair braider. You can be able to prepare and pack healthy meals. There's no limit to what you can do. You can create crafts and printables and things online, but it's your skill set that will allow you to always be able to write your own paycheck and make as much money as you want to. I just want to make sure I didn't forget anything. I think I got everything. Okay, so I have a bonus question. I actually have 2 bonus questions. But before I do the bonus questions, I want to ask, is there anything else you want to share with the people? And if so, or if not, tell us where we can connect with you online. I believe you're on Facebook and Twitter, but I wasn't sure which you use, if you use Twitter still. So tell the people where they can find you, and anything else you want to share with us before I hit you with the fire bonus questions.
Okay, my website is tamykawashington.com. On Facebook, my Facebook page is the Life Freedom Lifestyle, and on Twitter, Her Life Freedom. So you can connect me with those three places. My last closing words are just follow your passion and don't be afraid to do that. You know, that's what really hinders people from really being successful as an entrepreneur. Don't let other people tell you that you can't or it won't work, or I heard all of that. You know, I've heard all of that. And if I listened, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I know I didn't mention, but my service-based business, that's not my primary business. I do that pays my bills, okay? That pays my rent, that pays my electricity, it pays everything, you know? And so that's what I use. But my passion is helping women work from home and become financially free. And that's what my network marketing business will allow. And that's where I build my residual income. So that's where my attention goes. But, you know, like I said, the service base is my job, you know, and just continue to learn. Don't ever stop learning. Don't ever, you know, think that you can't do something. I never thought I would be here where I'm not a college graduate. I have a ninth grade education. I have a GED. I came online and I taught myself. So it's possible. Don't let your children be your excuse. Don't let a spouse be your excuse. Let those be reasons, you know, dream again. Remember what it was like for you to dream and what you desired for yourself and what you want, and know that you can still have that, but you have to make it happen, you know? So just stay focused, stay connected with Shayla, because she got you. She really does, you know, and you're going to learn what you need to learn to be successful. And that's what it takes, having mentors and having coaches that are going to help you to excel instead of you struggling along on your own, you know? So just be committed to yourself. That's the biggest thing. Be committed to yourself and you'll be fine.
Now, see, you're going to make me start the interview all over because you just said the last piece about, oh my gosh. Okay. So I don't know if you guys caught it because, see, I know Tamyka, so I know when she's saying and I know what she's talking about. You're hearing her for the first time, most of you. So she said that she has 3 businesses. We established that. But this last little piece, I just want to make sure it was clear. Her service-based business, where she helps people in their businesses on the technical side, WordPress, just tech. She put the whole work at home franchise membership portal up for me and did all of the putting together of that. So that's what she does in her service-based business. But if you heard her, that is not her main business, but that is the business that pays her rent and all of her bills. I just want that to sink in for a second. I know we're hitting the hour mark, but y'all know how I do. I was raised Baptist.
It's all good.
I will keep you all day. I was raised Baptist. But her service-based business is not her main business, but it is the business that pays her bills. She has a passion for something else, right? She's good at the tech side. She's a master at it, an expert at it, because she taught herself. She had to learn coding and all this craziness before WordPress is what you guys know it to be today. Before Facebook was a thing, we were still on I was still hanging out on MySpace too.
Okay.
Like, I was late coming to Facebook, and I think I came over in 2008, 2009, whatever it was. But I was late to the party. But she had to go and teach herself everything that she knows that she is now making money off of. Not just money, but enough money to pay all her. Y'all, she said she paid her rent. She live in Florida. Rent ain't cheap.
No, it's not.
She pays her bills off of the things that she learned and taught herself. And then she has 2 additional businesses that are her passion. And I know for a fact that she does well in her, the medical, I'm going to call it medical, insurance network marketing company that she does. And you've reached, what is it, regional?
Yep, regional sales director.
So she's making good money in that business. And then her other health business, and I know because I've asked her about her automation system there, that she just does straight retail. She doesn't have to build a team. She's not doing any of that there. She's just selling the product and making good money. So she has 2 businesses that she's passionate about that help other people create businesses and income. But she has a whole 3rd business, which was the first business, that's paying all of her expenses and her bills. I want
and
you
then the affiliate stuff is just for fun.
Right.
You know, that's the
taking
play
care
money
of multiple children, all online. If she wants to, when she get off here, she can go take a nap. Now it depends on what her calendar, her very organized calendar says. But Friday, she's at home. Right. She can go and do whatever she wants to do because she has a business at home that allows her the freedom to do so. Right? If for whatever reason she just decides she don't want to work for a whole week, she can do that because she owns her time. She don't got to ask for permission. She don't got to ask to get off. She don't got to she don't got to lie and say somebody in the family died because just to make it dramatic and serious so they'll, won't write you up, which they still will. They don't care. Right. She don't have to do any of that because she has built it for herself. And it didn't happen overnight, as you've heard her share. This started in 2002. 2009, she was doing this thing for real. Mm-hmm. And she has continued to build it from there. It wasn't hard. She said she wiped away her whole website, her whole blog when she was building it. Like, have you ever typed a paper and you hit a wrong button or you don't save and then the whole thing is gone? That is the most frustrating, upsetting, and scariest thing ever because you're like, can I get it back? Do I got to start over? Like, that is frustrating. Think about doing that when you had to code, like HTML, like coding a blog. Some of you don't even know how to upload a blog to get it going, let alone build it on the back end. And then she got the whole thing wiped away. Like, she's been through it, right? So it doesn't come easy. It doesn't come without, sacrifice and frustrations. And like, this is real life. Mm-hmm. Real life. The other day I posted on Facebook, I was like, I took a whole 60-minute lunch break today. And one of my clients, she was asking me how I was feeling. I was like, oh, I'm good, because I had a call after my lunch break. And I was like, I took a 60-minute lunch break today. I normally only take 20 minutes for lunch. I work for myself at home. And I still treat my business, for the most part, because I do have some days, like on Fridays, I don't be trying to do too much. But right. I treat my business like as if I had to go work for someone, because I remember what it's like to work for someone. And I don't want to ever have to do that again. So I'd rather work hard for myself than have to say, oh gosh, I'm not going to be able to make it and have to go do it for somebody else. I don't want that. I don't miss it. I miss nothing about being employed. Nothing. Nothing. No benefits, no raises, no pay, no time off, no holiday pay, no double. I miss no free food, and I love food. No, I don't miss nothing about being employed. I rather do it for myself, even if that means I get a 20-minute lunch break during the week. Because I can give myself a longer one, but I'm going to do my 20-minute break while I'm working, usually still, because I want to get to a certain level of freedom in my business. Mm-hmm. And so it's possible for you. It's possible for anybody. It can happen, but you have to take it serious, and you have to be determined that nothing or no one is going to stand in your way. I just want to make that clear. Told you, we'll start the whole thing over, all over again. Okay, so I have 2 questions for you, and these are just some bonus questions, and they're not hard, I don't think, but number 1, if you were not an entrepreneur, and this is like blasphemy that I'm even asking this, if you were not an entrepreneur, what would you be doing? What do you think, or what would you be doing if you weren't doing entrepreneurship?
Woo,
like, is there something else out there? Really? Is there others?
I mean, if I wasn't an entrepreneur, I would probably be a home health aide.
Home health.
I really enjoy, that was one thing. I also was a home health aide, aside from being in a nurse at home, but I did enjoy that. And because it kind of still gave me a little bit of freedom, because I was at, I did work with patients and things, but I had, I could read a book. I could relax more. It wasn't so strenuous all the time. You're in their home, so it's a little different vibe. So that's probably what I would do. I would never go back to a traditional job. I could never. I know for a fact I'm unemployable. I've never held a job for more than like 6 months. It's just not for me. When you mentioned earlier, like, if your job's causing you stress and depressed, like I was depressed. I would sit out in my car in the morning and cry, like, oh my God, I have to go back in here. And I'm like, I would sit in here and I felt like I was wasting my life away. I'm like, this is not me. Like, I always knew there was something more for me, and I was like, I just had to do it. So I could never go back to a job. I'd figure it out.
Home health. I can get with the home health. Yeah, it's much more relaxed in a nursing home. Definitely. Yeah. And the last question is, what is one life or business goal that you have? Life or business goal that you have?
Well, they're both kind of intertwined, and it's just, I want to create a financial legacy for my children. When I'm not here, I want them to be all set, and that's what I'm doing. So
the best answer and the best close out to this interview. So thank you guys for hanging out with myself, Shayla Smart, and Miss Tamyka Washington. And if you are not connected to Tamyka already, you want to do so. I will also tag her in the group and put her handles. And if you have some follow-up questions, you can post them in the group and she'll get to them as she can. Like, she ain't y'all personal secretary, but I'm sure she'll be happy to answer any additional questions that you have. And you can go over and join her on her Facebook page. And tell us the Facebook page one more time.
The Life Freedom Lifestyle.
Okay. I want to call it, I want to switch the words around, so I'm not even gonna try to say it again. Okay, so go and follow Miss Tamyka. I will tag all of her handles, social media handles in her page in the group, so you can go there and follow her, and you can comment and ask her any additional questions that you may have about her lifestyle, her business, and how maybe you can do what she's doing. If that sounds like a skill set that you want to gravitate to, or the type of online business you want to start, then you can definitely talk to her about that inside the Facebook group, or you can connect with her inside of on her Facebook page. And also, you have a Facebook group.
I do have a Facebook group.
Okay, so I will tag her Facebook group as well, or put if it'll let me tag it in the group. So then you can connect and you can jump inside of her group there too, because that's probably the better place to get your questions answered, on the page or in the group. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm so excited that I got to bring it to you. There's so much more we could have talked about and went in forever. But hopefully you got a lot out of this. It was juicy to me, at least, and that you learned something, and you have some endurance now to go forward in whatever goals that you have. And I hope this inspired you to just to step out and do something that you might have thought you couldn't do, but it's available to you. I'm going to hop over here on my phone and just see if there's any questions, and do kind of like a little after party, and just give you some parting information, because I do want to talk to you about the Fire Friday jobs. And I did have a couple resume tips for remote jobs that I want to share with you really quick, because it is Fire Friday. So I'm going to end the interview here, but I do have my phone up. So if you guys just refresh or scroll the page, you'll see I'm still live in the group, even though I'm ending the Zoom interview here. So thank you so much, Ms. Tamyka. I really appreciate you for giving me this exclusive and hopping on camera with me. And of course, I love you, love you, love you. And I appreciate you. And I'm just excited to just continue to watch your journey and the legacy you're building for yourself and your family. I will see you and talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.